And good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and everything and everyone in between. My name is John Snoo. We're going to cover the race between JKLOL and It's Always Sunny in Pendant Pod, where it's going to be Kaesden versus Pool Float. My co-con today with me is Mr. Radical Sniper himself, Jesse. How are you doing today, Jesse?
I'm doing great. So yeah, this is the first game between these two teams as part of Open Week. So JKLOL has clinched a playoff spot at this point. So they're playing for seeding. Meanwhile, I believe It's Always Sunny in Pendant Pod, unfortunately, it's already been decided they are eliminated from playoff contention. We get that early map check from Kaesden. We have a regular Crystal Eastern, Red Crystal Desert, and Pendant Hera.
Meanwhile, we're getting an Uncle Route start here on Pool Float side, so we'll be able to find out what the old man is holding back from us.
Yeah, and that tier 1 tree pull. Just hearts today.
Whole lot of love. Kaesden going to kill some guards along the way. Using the Grand Pool World 2 MSU, I approve. Ooh, Shroom on the old man.
Yeah, definitely not something you would like to see. At least I don't like to see it that early.
More fetch quests.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Tier 3 bombs?
That's a really good pull on Kaesden's end. I don't think Pool Float will get that.
I mean, it's just bombs, but, you know, it works out in Kaesden's favor to go for that early tier 3 in this case. And Aga Ledge is dead.
Yep, no Aga.
Well.
Doesn't exist. But no, he could definitely be used for Dark World access, so he's not out of play just yet. We're getting more kills on Kaesden's side. I think he wants to get another tier 3 out of it.
No, I think this is just the tier 1. I think his normal route for this is with the Stank start is tier 3 into a tier 1.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. And both players now in Lost Woods. Kaesden grabbing the 20 on the mushroom spot. We're going to find out what's in the Bandits hideout here in just a second. Another 20.
We still need a little bit more money. CAC will give us 50 rupees easy, but definitely not going to be enough.
Yeah, players got to do a little bit of math here. Maybe Blind's Hut will give us another 50 drop.
I mean, if CAC doesn't get us any money, it's one of those situations where you're just like, nah, that doesn't happen.
It's a very rare occurrence that you don't get money in CAC.
And really, if you didn't, you just drop in the well a second time for an extra 10.
Yep. And at that point, you got Bottle Merchant covered, so there's no reason not to just do it that way anyway.
Yeah, and given that we know tier 3 is just that powerful in this one, you don't even worry about it.
Yep. Ooh, mirror in the first chest of blinds. There's the 50 I was talking about.
And more.
Yep. We're all good on money, so Bottle Merchant will be handled as well.
Yeah, and I don't hate the idea that, you know, unless we start pulling like major bombs out of here, I might even buy bombs at the end of CAC just so I have enough to do like a mini Moldorm cave.
Yep, I agree. Just on the way out, scoop up some explosives from your local shop as a kid. Still confuses me how Hyrule works sometimes.
I mean, you're in a land of adventure. Don't think of this in normal logic ever.
All right, because we don't have bombs on Pool Float side, ooh, sword though. Gonna have to wait till he buys bombs though.
Yeah, and you know, that's the unfortunate part. You know, you don't get enough money just outside of CAC to be ready for it, and then you're kind of stuck with this, well, what am I gonna do?
Yep.
I will say the one thing is I think it would have been a preferable move to check the back of the tavern before going into the shop. But
there's so many times it gives you a 3-bomb pack.
Exactly.
Let's actually see. Oh, we're not going there immediately. Okay.
Well, and that's almost like extra caution. Is just like, maybe I would have pulled a 3-bomb there. Let's go
refill.
Yeah. Maybe it's a refill afterwards.
I can definitely see that.
And we see that on Chicken Hut. So
let's find out if it was the back of a brewery. Oh, it was a whole heart container now. Still, though, the refill's good. I just read chat on Twitch, and I regretfully do so, Jesse.
I know.
I hated it. I hate it. All right, let's get the maze race check, Kaesden. Make me forget about this. All right, we're definitely saving and quitting from here.
Yep. Sword and a mirror is more than enough out of Kakariko.
Oh, absolutely. And now we're gonna more than likely, I think we're gonna get a South Shore play on Kaesden's side. Yep. I was sitting here debating. I'm like, does he go to Saha? But no, not yet.
No, with Crystal Eastern, I think you wait and hope to have a bow first trip. If you get nothing on the South Shore play, I wholeheartedly am in on the Eastern play, or at least Saha play. Maybe escape for Kaesden actually after this.
Yes, I agree, especially with the hammer and well, we got the hammer there. That's what confused me for a second, but especially with the mirror, you do front of escape, mirror, dark cross, and bail. But you could also save all of that for if you have to do dark world access through Aga anyway.
Well, and with that mirror, you know, not even just dark cross, I think it's not unreasonable to think we get the small key.
Yep.
And
Kaesden going for what I like to do. If you see rupees, if you see a 20 or lower rupee on the flooded item, I go to Aggie.
I don't know. I still probably would have. In this case, I would have scouted at least first. If you're actually making the time investment to Agina, like it's not a bad idea to know.
Yeah, I agree with that though too, to an extent. Especially if you have boots, you just run on over there, right? With walking though, it could be debatable.
Here's the problem. Like I think we talked about this last night in a seed, was just, you know, you don't know that an item is there and what sends you back to it. Like if that's mitts,
right?
You know, is part of your thought, I'm gonna wait until I get, you know, flute or some other better access, and you find out, oh wait, I never was gonna have that kind of access.
Yep. And that's where rando plays a special place in all of this. Like there's always that situation of what if this, what if that, and that's part of the addiction. We always want to see if we're right.
Kaesden, you've got one extra bomb, please. Oh god.
And he gets molded. Never punished. Never punished.
Oh my gosh. I like, that's good, but I was like, you're using bombs to get through this?
I'm pretty sure he threw the one, and you and I both know Kaesden goes, oh wait, what am I doing?
Unfortunately, okay, we're getting that look at the stun prize, and it's just a single rupee, but
oh, vanilla. Shocker.
Pull float going through escape right now. Unfortunately, no hammer, so having to do those sword slashes, but not the worst.
Yeah, it's not, as long as you know the actual strats for these rooms, it's not that bad.
And we did get the small key, by the way, in that first chest. So
yes, we did.
A fire source for logical reasons, you know, this isn't too bad.
So far, though, no progressional things coming out of escape. Just getting a lot of bombs and a lot of nothing.
I think at this point you kind of just feel like, okay, it's going to be like Fire Rod or Lamp in Saha Eastern area.
Right, right. Ooh, Kaesden's saving and quitting. We're not going to get the Flake Flipper. We're just going to go into Saha's Closet. I approve of this too. You know, no Moon Pearls, so you can't really do.
Flake Flipper for?
Hey, man, you can scout that Zorlet. Well, you can also do Hobo and just get that out of the way. And what Leo said in chat is true as well. Walking to it just kind of not fun. But we're definitely going to get a... We're going to get a front of escape? Okay, there we go, Kaesden. That's what I thought. That's tier 2.
Yes, it is.
So all of your resources on all your tiered pulls. Huh, okay. And Kazen gonna get the shroom from the old man. Getting that good stuff.
And we're getting such a great view on pull float side, just the dark with the snakes.
Very well handled, actually.
Yeah, doing nicely. Having that, I think, yes, using the boomerang to great effect.
Yep. I think right now, though, the play is definitely Saha and Eastern, with what we know here in the commentator's booth.
Or find apparently a flute and Dark Cross.
Oh, that too. We're going all the way to the back too, which there's no reason not to at this point. You're already this deep.
And you got a small key, so you know that there's a lot behind that.
Oh, yeah. The only thing being is that what gives you the logical access to be back here? Where's your glove? Where's your lamp? Where's your fire rod?
I mean, I'd care more about the flute at this point. You know, where's my fire rod or lamp to make that in logic? And I think we both know it's probably the eastern area.
More than likely in Saha's closet, if anything. And I would actually bank to believe that there could be a fire source in eastern. More than likely the lamp that'll lead you all the way to Vanilla Egg Key Chest.
And really getting all the way back to the back of Escape is a huge improvement as well, because there's our first bottle.
Yep, so now Pool Float will be able to activate the flute and knock out Sit Kid all in one fell swoop. So he'll be completely done with Kakariko in its entirety. And I would honestly take this flute activation after Sit Kid. I would take this into Mushroom Turn-In.
Yeah, maybe a quick save and quit, just in case you want to scum it.
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. The main reason I rush Turn-In, and this is, again, me and you've discussed multiple things about preferences. If you have to do Magic Bat, you're usually more than likely going to get Powder at a pretty fortunate spot anyway. All right, pull off the salutes if you got them, just like Rambler did. Doesn't matter if we can hear it. We can hear it in our soul.
Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Tweedledoo-dee-lee. That made my dog bark outside. What? Oh, the Moon Pearl! That doesn't matter much because Kazen's also going to get the bottle here. Because he's more than likely going to get Flute and go all the way to the back of Escape as well.
And we're getting a double no scout. Oh, wait. Nope, I'm wrong. Okay, it's just bombs. I was like, are we going to have both runners not scout the ledge?
Right. Sorry, I just came back. My dogs just discovered the magic of the basement windows and started yelling at me.
Okay.
Wolflo getting the piece of heart that Kazen got away. Why are we killing ourselves?
And, oh no.
Yeah.
Fairy.
No. Why did we do it? Wolflo. He probably forgot, and to be fair, everyone's done it. Everyone has done it.
I just have not usually thought of death warping out of
Agina's cave.
Yeah.
That's just a normal save and quit there.
Now, here's an interesting thought. How much do you want to actually rush the mountain, or do you want to find that fire source that gives you access to the lamp? To the flute.
I would want to find the fire source because you could potentially also find maybe Hookshot along with it. But, all right, so Mushroom Turn-In is only 300 rupees, but we got to get that for the possibility of Zora as well. That's a lot of money.
Well, luckily Zora's still kind of a ways off.
Yep. But I would say, honestly, at this point, you have the mirror, you have the hammer, go to the mountain.
And I see the speculation, like, oh, we know that a fire source has to be in eastern area. I have a
Also,
bit of a different idea of what we're gonna find.
glove.
Yeah. Watch it be a glove, and that's Dark World access instead.
Because I just put 2 and 2 together on that end. What if we got mitts out of Saha's closet just immediately like that? Now you're
Well, I'm not
almost
even saying
again.
mitts.
Right,
I'm
but
just saying a glove.
right. Like just in general, hey, here's your Dark World. Kazen, not even worried about save scumming it, just turning it in right off rip. And again, I think it's because of how early it is. It doesn't really matter that much. I understand the save scum, I really do, and it makes sense. But I don't think about that until I get Samaria regardless.
And I know like I've talked with Kazen about this whole idea of like you find a flute out of logic, you know, how much do you invest in following it? And
Oh, here we go.
this is not a surprise for him. He's definitely like, he and I have talked about this. He's like, I don't like chasing flute checks when I don't have it logically.
Yep. And I think that's one of the few things that we've all agreed on, actually. Because me and you do disagree on a few things, but that's because I'm me.
I mean, I've gone against that idea in the past as well. Like, I've definitely had times where I'm just like, nope. Let's go.
You hit the fire button sequence and you just why?
Okay. I know that the checking of Saha for a talk, and there's the glove. So, when it comes to the idea of talking to Saha, we know where one pendant is, and I'm not a huge fan of it, but knowing where green pendant is also kind of a help, I think. You know, it's just, you know, that little bit of just a quick talk, and we're not even going to get mountain checks from Kaesden at this point.
Nope, it's Hype Cave straight on up.
Yep.
I would actually think talking to Saha would be a great idea if you had both pendants in Light World.
Yes. And I love it then.
Yes.
But in this case, I'm kind of like,
yeah. There's no reason because you got a map check here anyway to find out what your other 5/6 is and your other pendant is. Oh, there's our Samaria. So the fake powder could have been a potential.
Unfortunately, we don't have Oh, interesting.
Okay, this I don't go to Stumpy here. I go over to Pod.
Nope, I still go to Stumpy.
Really? Okay.
Yep. I think you want a fire source. Pendant TR and Red Crystal Mire are our last two.
Yep. So
no ice route.
We don't need flippers.
And Kaesden goes with your idea.
Yep, I think going this way, you just knock out the 2 dungeons right off rip. You could do it without a fire source completely.
Yeah, it's just like we're still very much, you know, green mail, 6 hearts. I think we see Eastern first, which is definitely
more than likely.
Yeah, but I would be very tempted to just, you know, hold off a little bit and at least get the rest of that southeast or southwest Dark World. And Pool Float getting the last piece for completing that container and having to walk out and in.
Are we mirroring in front of Pyramid to do escape?
No, he already did.
Oh, we're mirroring and fluting to 5. Or 3. Okay, I'm wrong.
I think knowing you have a clearable Crystal Thieves Town.
Yeah.
And that's like more of a gimme dungeon at this point. Eastern's a gimme, but Pod is kind of a, even for as good as, you know, we know Kaesden is, it's a hard one to argue.
Let's find out what the Scamfish has. He's going to come on out of here. And he's going to give us it. Ooh.
Nice second sword already.
That could be something. We still have to find a second for the third sword, would be on Pool Float side, but the second sword on Kazen's side. But that could be a minute.
Why third sword?
Well, because think about it like this, right? What if both swords are all the way up to
sure.
GT?
Never mind.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
It's like you're already anticipating an extra sword. Wow.
Yeah. Right. It was more so the thought process of, well, how bad could this be? But at the same time, too, there's more than likely another sword in the game. On probably in pod. Ooh, booms. And then this is going to be the Saha closet check here for Pool Float. And Pool Float also talking to Saha. Hey, sometimes you just gotta visit them, show them that you still care for them outside of cross keys, I guess.
Outside of key sanity.
Outside of yeah, exactly. Outside of keys in general. But so Pool Float's definitely fluting the 4. We're gonna get the hype cave out of him more than likely, or he could flute straight to 3. I'm actually genuinely curious.
I was about to say, are we getting mountain?
Wow. Okay. I don't hate it.
No, and this is the hard part is, we know that it's a lot of checks up here on Death Mountain, and you could just be saying, hey, let's, exhaust these checks. And Pool Float could find, a hook shot, a Titan's Mitts, something like that just makes this play worth it. Meanwhile,
Right.
Kaesden's going to say, let me wait a little bit and find the logical access for it. And, I don't think either play is right or wrong in this scenario. It's really going to come down to who finds what.
My big worry is that if you find Mitts while you're here on the mountain, and say Kaesden finds Fire Rod while he's down on the mainland doing what he's doing right now, he'd be able to enter into TR while Pool Float will kind of leave TR in the dust. Even though it is a pendant, it still could potentially be something in TR that could hold our progression.
I mean, do you want to enter TR or Hera, though?
No.
Would you actually enter either of them?
Pending the loadout, to be completely honest. Like,
I mean, here's a thought on this one is like, how much are we really away from go mode already? Okay, we need a fire rod.
We need a fire rod, and we need to know what the medallion is for Meyer, and if desert is boots locked.
Yep.
That's really it.
And I mean, technically, we would need a hook shot. You and I both are quite aware that Kaesden will hover if.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know. I don't believe Pool Float hovers. So.
Yeah, so on Kaesden's end, we're technically 3 from go.
So
without counting the sword, obviously.
Yeah, and in that case, like, I don't know how much Kaesden invests in worrying about, some of the extra items. So.
Rambler giving us the inside info that Float has practiced it with upgrading to an NT as well. Yeah. That's a different discussion, though. But he's not that great at it yet. But that's okay. I mean, like, it just takes some time.
Yeah,
especially
so
whenever you're on hardware.
I mean, it's so early to kind of say whether or not it matters, but...
Right. It's just me and Jesse are the type of people that will explain almost every single possibility. And that's a majority of our conversations, even just on the normal anyway. Oh no, we do need fire rod. Okay. I was sitting here like, do we need fire rod?
Yeah, we need
fire rod.
Then
I saw Skullwoods, yeah. Because my race against DJ last night, fire rod was all the way up in pre-Moldorm chest in GT. But yeah, we definitely need a fire source for not just Skull Woods, but also to do Desert Palace as well. All right, we're gonna get the blind fight here out of Kaesden.
And the Pendant Moldorm.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna put gamble this. You kind of have to go for the fight.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, Pole Float going into rage phase.
and taking a fall by not abusing a little bit of pit sword action. Kazen going out of the blind script, but
Yeah, just a
has
little
enough
bit
hearts.
there at the end.
Yep, has enough hearts. Gets a 50 for it. And we got our first crystal on Kazen's side.
Okay, where do you go, though, for Kaesden at this point?
Dig game Stumpy, and then Mirror Flute to 5. Or, well, dig game Stumpy, K45, Flute over to 5, handle Pod and Eastern.
Looks like you have the call there. I was curious if we might see...
Oh, Kazen thought he had bits. What's he doing, man? C-shape house first.
Okay. No, I was curious. Maybe you see like Skullwoods.
Oh, go on.
Kind of.
We got the bug net. Let's go.
You know, a Skullwoods, graveyard ledge, bumper ledge kind of check. But no, we are going to get the south route here.
And I just thought about more of it too. Whenever Kaesden went to Pyramid Ledge the way that he did, we only kind of isolated Catfish for a little bit. Until Flippers.
I mean, if he does a route to North Dark World, I think he current jumps the Catfish.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I'm being personally attacked and called out in chat. I don't appreciate this.
So far, nothing on the mountain, though, for Pool Float, but still plenty of checks. We're coming to the real meat of it.
It's, yeah, Paradox Cave is the big one. And this is where we find out if this has really been worth it or not. Because I don't know about you, Jesse, but instead of doing the Tower of Hera play, I think both me and you kind of rush towards Paradox Cave.
And there's the mitts for Kaesden, so it's very possible he checks out Stumpy and then heads right back into VOO.
I don't even think you check out Stumpy. I think you go grab the Smith, turn in the Smith, and come back down with Purple Chest in the Stumpy. Because what if you find Book along the way?
No, I think I would do Stumpy here because I would prefer to just possibly flute to
Mirror and Flute.
Purple Chest.
Okay.
You know, maybe you get the book.
Oh,
God. The hook shot already. Wow.
Oh, man. This is why you stay in Logic sometimes, though.
Yep, and this is where Kaesden exits it.
Yep. He's gone. He's going right to 5.
I was like, exit Logic, as in go up the mountain. No.
No.
I'm so wrong.
Nope. There's, again, what does giving Hookshot do for that? You're still able to do Eastside Death Mountain. Either way.
But it's the fact that you have Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny. You have all.
Oh yeah, he got Mitt.
Yeah, he's got all of Death Mountain available to him. I was kind of surprised we didn't see a full DM play.
Well, I agree with this though because you get Pot and Eastern out the way, so 2 more crystals, and you're able to figure out if you have to go into TR. It becomes a little bit of an easier decision.
Oh, sure. I mean, it's definitely a possibility.
Honestly, though, what I'm really surprised though, Jesse, no Meyer area.
I think for that one, I'd really be waiting for Fire.
Well, no, it's
not because I care about Meyer. It's because I care about Desert. If I can get that down to a single dip, I'd feel a lot better.
Okay, that's fair. I was saying more so to scout the information to find out what the medallion and if it's boots locked or not.
Oh, sure.
And then not only that,
if he finds 2 of those things here,
right?
Like, and these are 2 dungeons. I think at this point he's just like, no, let's clear.
And well, we got the first chest out of Eastern showing us nothing. Meanwhile, Pool Float also going to be making the same decision here, going into the Pod/Eastern Palace play. I wonder which one Pool Float's going to do first.
And this is the thing, you know, this is what you thought Kaesden would have done after doing Ipe Cave.
Yep.
So just a slightly different route, and it just also pulls pull float away from mitts and hookshot.
Yeah, the hookshot is really important for that hookshot cave, honestly. That could be a big play in this.
Well, I don't even know when pull float heads back to those, to be honest.
Exactly.
Like half a mountain clear done.
Oh, Kaesden went for the fancy. I don't blame him, because whenever you do nail it, it's fast and it feels really good.
Now, we are getting pull float into pod first. I think this could be just having that extra sword. It feels better going through the turtle rooms and really the whole dungeon with that extra sword.
Yep, more confidence in it. And that's probably why Kaesden decided to do Eastern first with just Fighter Sword, because, you're meant to have Fighter Sword in this dungeon. Meanwhile, in Pod, you're meant to have Master Sword. So you're able to handle enemies much easier, dispatch them pretty quickly, and so on and so forth. We're going to get a right side first here instead of going up the middle on Pull Float's side, because we got the small key out of Shooter. Some spin strats here for Kaesden's Dark Room and Eastern Palace to get the small key. Da, 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 da.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
Do you know who performs that song?
The 8-bit dough that's coming out of Kaesden's speakers.
Let's keep it that way.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, that was mean.
Oh, no, we planned that one. But all right, so that looked like Vanilla Piggy. I hate it.
Yeah, we did get the Bombos medallion, though, out of Eastern Palace, and that is a great little find. That'll make even those turtle rooms in the basement a lot easier to have to deal with.
He's nailing this back of Eastern Palace pretty smoothly right now.
Yeah, it didn't look like the pokies or the popos got in the way at all.
Nope, they scattered. They were too scared. They couldn't see that version of Link in the dark.
And it does look like we did get a second bottle out of Palace of Darkness I missed, or was that on the mountain?
I think that was in Pod here. Because because Pull Float only has 3 keys. Was it mountain? Okay. I am incorrect. Our sources indicate, aka chat, that it was in fact from the mountain. More than likely in Paradox.
Rambler, who is also our tracker tonight, so yeah, he's gonna be in the ball as we get the silver arrows.
Ooh. Oh, another sword on Armos Knight. So now the sword does not even matter much.
Just the ease of knowing that Pool Float's gonna get tempered soon.
Yep. So we don't have to worry about a sword for being able to kill Ganon. However, we have to worry about the ease of the fight and the ease of killing other bosses here in Hylia. Hyrule?
A place with enemies.
And Kaesden gonna do more than likely everything the same thing as Pool Float is currently doing in Palace of Darkness. So
Kaesden just down to 1 arrow, unfortunately. Luckily, we will get silvers and arrows soon.
There's a few arrow pots here in Pod. There's one on the fall down, drop down on your way up to Vanilla Big Key chest. There's also the double arrow fill up on the right side of the right chest on Arena Ledge.
And there's those flippers we don't need. Now, Kaesden's route, probably a little more conventional to what you're used to seeing. You get that small key out of Shooter Room, head through the front door.
Yeah, it's I'm trying to think. Where is this fire logic? More than likely Mire Shed. I think there's going to be probably a fire rod or a lamp in Mire Shed. That's where I'm thinking nicefully.
Is that nice?
It's not bad.
I ask because, as we know, fire had to be available. One of our fire sources had to be available before this.
Oh, yeah, huh?
So, what did we skip?
A lot.
Uh-huh.
No, seriously. Front of Skull Woods, Graveyard Ledge. If we find the Cape anytime soon, Bumper Ledge.
Right.
Technically, those flippers, I believe, are in Logic. Swamp Palace. The possibilities for a fire source to unlock that flute are almost limitless right now.
One of the big ones that stands out to me is, and Leo just said it, Catfish.
Yep. Catfish and Hobo are now in Logic. So,
There's a lot.
yep.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, Hobo was checked by Float. It was nothing. It was Garbo. But we are just getting the rewind info here on Kaesden's side while Pool Float makes their way to Helma.
That was a 5 small key front.
Yeah, that's you. All right.
And yeah, this is going to be a tough one.
Yep.
This is not an easy room. The first one is, but the 6 turtle room in Pod is definitely one of the harder dark rooms in this game.
The one of the ways that you could manage it is the NMG strat. However, there's a strat that I like to do where you hold out your sword to the right, hold left, wait until you hear the tink, and then hit the hammer twice. And it should hit every single one of them. And we're getting a little bit of a challenge here on Pool Float side, but it looks like they're making it okay so far. Only losing 3 hearts while trying to make this play happen.
Yeah, we're seeing the tanks to indicate that they are getting flipped. And this is the one advantage that we were talking about for Kaesden is just having Bombos. You know, as soon as you hear the flip.
Ooh, do we have a fairy?
Okay. Okay, so we had, I guess we got a second fairy. Nice.
Kaesden getting his flippers out of Harmless. And we're getting the continue play here on Pool Float side for Dark Turtles.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Pool Float, I believe.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is a really hard room to do, and you know, not one that, you know, even some really experienced runners like we have here tonight, this is just not easy. And I guess we did get powder.
Yeah, I saw that on the menu for a second. Yep.
And I just saw Kaesden pull it out of the top left of our Dark Maze.
Yep, we have powder. And Pool Float making a good call here. Just, hey, I'll come back to it. Let me get into Easter and see if my fire is here.
Yeah, I just don't know if we see Pool Float come back.
To Pod? Not for a little bit, but we have to. It's Crystal.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Like, here goes Kaesden heading back into the dark portion of Pod. You know, if he does get through this is an advantage.
Yep.
Is not having to make the return trip to this area.
And that's just further strengthening the dungeon lead here, with Kaesden having Eastern Palace and Thieves Town completed. He will have 3 crystals to Pool Float's current none.
And I'm just going to shout out that little bit of tech knowledge there from Kaesden. Did you see what he did?
Yep.
Yeah, he used the hook shot to hard dupe to get himself back up to full health.
For those that don't... Okay, go ahead, Jesse.
No, go ahead.
For those that don't know, if you hook shot a heart whenever it fully sinks down to the ground, or while it is being spawned whenever you pick it up, you can duplicate the heart in its entirety and it'll heal you for 2 hearts instead of 1 because of its Y value for some reason.
And it's completely random. Like, there's no, like, rhyme or reason to this. It just sometimes works.
Yep.
And actually, if I had to pick a dungeon after this, I think I would do Ice.
Yes, I agree. Rule of Fire. We gotta find out where either our fire rod or our lamp is. And with us getting... Yeah. with us getting flippers, Samaria, make Ice Palace much quicker. Kazen has a Master Sword, so he'll be able to clear Ice Palace, no problem, more than likely. And like you said earlier, Jesse, there he is using Bombos whenever he gets a lot of them flipped.
Yeah, got 4 in that first cast, and there's down to 1 now.
And that should be all of them. Yep.
There we go.
So this is going to be a really big advantage here on Kazen's side.
And, you talked about that early Zora play. I think if Kaesden doesn't get anything major out of Ice Palace, he mirrors and does Zora checks, and that could even up the sword game.
Do you not think that he does what you actually did against Mr. Aaron Snurd during Casual Boots Week? Do you not think that he does his water checks before going into Ice Palace, though?
The problem there is, like, the reason I did that was also in the idea of hoping to find something like Cane of Samaria. For Kaesden, he's already in perfect shape to go do it.
Right, okay. That makes sense. I'm thinking more so along the lines of Master Sword Cold Stare sucks.
Oh, sure. No, I don't disagree, but
at the same time, too, you have Hammer, you have Master Sword. Your hearts, this is actually the exact amount of hearts that you have for NMG, Cold Stare as well. But that makes Master Sword a little bit more sketch, because now you're going into low percent territory instead of any percent.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Kaesden could still just decide, no, I'm going to do flipper checks, but...
I mean, he could just tell us both to stop it, and he can go to Mire area, too. Oh my god!
I mean, I get it at this point,
I do
what does
too.
he
You
need?
gotta find out the medallion, and you can do it. It's gonna be gross. You can do it.
I don't know. I don't think I go into Mire without an actual fire source of some variety.
Are we not gonna scope the? Okay, it is Bombos.
Oh, wow.
So see, Jesse, that this is where your idea of waiting until you get some medallions to come here comes into play. So now does he go in? I don't think he does.
I don't. And not for the reason of no fire, so much as there's a couple of other ones. Look at that arrow count.
Yeah, that's why I agree. I think he does desert first, more than likely, to find out if it's boots locked. I think this is going to be a checkerboard into, let me go check the torch.
And I do like that crystal catch sprite over on Pool Float's side.
Yeah, I know. It's just okay. He might have silvers, Leo, but that's only the right amount of silvers to kill the eyeballs.
Not even. You need 9.
Yep. He could get the 5 from main lobby to bring him up to 13. But that's it. That's all you're getting in Mire. Meanwhile, in Desert Palace, you have 5 pots that give you 5 arrow drops. Oh, we're going to find out what's here on Desert Ledge, too.
I was going to say, we did see it from Pool Float.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, he scouted it.
All right, yep, this is going to be a torch. Find it out.
Do we need the boots?
Oh, please. Yo, watch the boots just actually be here. Nope, we don't need the boots, so we're not locked.
Unfortunately, we are fire locked.
Well, we can go far enough to find out if our fire is actually just here.
Oh yeah, I mean, you full clear the front. Like, it's not going to be a time loss for you.
Nope.
So
I mean,
no,
boots
this
could be
works
here
out
too.
perfectly.
I think that this is fine because, again, it's an intel play. You're able to see what's here, and then you're gone. And then you could just leave this for go mode.
Yeah, and as Leo points out in chat, we are a fire rod from go.
Yep. That's actually exactly what I was going to bring up next. Leo stealing my spotlight.
Kaesden? Was that
We're not
both
doing
Leo?
big chest.
Why are you not doing big chest? Oh,
Oh,
Kaesden's
baby.
forgetting he doesn't have fire. Kaesden, please.
He's going to go all the way to the back, dude.
Kaesden, please.
He's going to go all the way to the back. We're doing it. Oh, baby. Yo, he needs to hit R one more time. One more time. Hit R. one more time, Kazen, and see the heresy of your way. That was only a heart container that we got. We didn't get our second item, dude. I can't wait for this. This is gonna be so funny. He's gonna pause menu and be like, "Oh,
Does
here
he
it
check
comes.
big chest at least? Oh,
Here it The only reason we're mocking it is because of how well we know Kazen.
yeah,
Guys.
no, it's like this is seriously just he's our friend. Like all the love for him, but dang.
No, dude, not again.
And he skipped big chest.
Oh, he's done it twice. He did that with me during a co-op scene. Oh my gosh. There we go. Now he remembers what kind of fire he has. Oh my goodness. All right, I think I'm recovered now, Jesse. My bad.
Oh, good.
Oh boy.
No, that's a moment. And I mean, we all know, like.
Oh yeah. We're gonna more than likely get the bomb strat here on the Pengator room as well. So if you guys actually don't know this one, check this one out. All of them in one fell swoop.
Nicely done, and picking up the first chest here. Unfortunately, nothing of value that we care about, but we'll see if we get fire here. I mean, this is in logic.
Yep, I think it's more than likely here, to be completely honest. It's either here or it's in swamp.
I don't even know if I do swamp. Like after this, if Kaesden does not have an actual fire source, I wouldn't be surprised if we see mountain from him. Although, knowing that we're fire away from go, like fire rod, he might say, I need to check the logical way to get mountain access first.
Right. That's exactly it, because we still have that flute that was our first logical mountain access besides the glove, which was on Saha. We have no way of getting to the mountain because we don't have lamp or fire rod yet, which our flute was found in Dark Cross. And with the glove, you still need the lamp to be able to get to Old Man regardless for in logic access.
Yep. Meanwhile, Pool Float has been going through Thieves Town very nicely. Not to bury that fact.
Nope, not whatsoever. We were just highlighting Kazen's. We'll say it was a
talent.
Oh man, we're gonna get the Freezer kill here with the bombos. Oh yo, best shield, let's go.
Isn't that 3 items?
Yeah. And that's why Kaesden is just going straight to cold.
Yep, right on to cold stare for another crystal, as Pool Float is guiding the maiden back for his second crystal.
I think after Pool Float's done here, you dip front of skull, and then you transfer that into a graveyard ledge check. Into
what are you doing,
Catfish.
Kaesden?
I think he didn't hit the switch.
No, he did. I distinctly remember him going back. We got 3 items, right? Piece of heart, $50, and a shield.
Yeah. That's every item. We're miscounting here a little bit. Oh, Kaesden. No. Poor Kaesden. I think it's just more than likely either nerves or forgetfulness right now, because
yeah, I think what happened in Desert might have him a little thrown.
Yep. Maybe potential seed bleed if he played earlier today as well. We're gonna find out what's in the big chest here. It's another small key.
And that means a small key on cold anyway, so.
Yep, so Samaria locked. And we're gonna get the VOO cleanup here on Pool Float's side.
Question being, of course, for Pool Float, do we see north to Skull Woods or south to that hook shot and Titan's Mitts?
He came up. He did Stumpy.
No. Oh. Then why does Pool Float not have mitts?
Ran past K45.
Oh no.
Yeah. A little unfortunate. But this is going to be the front of Skull Woods play from Pool Float as well.
Actually, yeah, Pool Float doesn't have hook yet, so.
Oh, okay. Rambler's juking, breaking my ankles a little bit. Ooh, shovel, ew. Well, I mean, that gives Pool Float more incentive to go get their hook shot, actually.
Yeah, that's a really nice item to kind of push that play. And I know Kaesden usually talks about doing Skull Woods checks, so I wouldn't be surprised if he does that and possibly does Smith Chain at this point.
I wouldn't disagree with it at all because we are still no mountain in logic whatsoever. So there's no reason for Kaesden to go up and do Hookshot Cave, Super Bunny Cave, TR, any of it. And Kaesden further pushing his crystal advantage here.
Yeah, just 4-2, but at this point, you know, those are two, like, I think the big one is still just Pod. That's the one that's really gonna hurt in a sense, just because of how much time it takes to get back to that spot.
It's mainly too on Pool Float's side. He attempted it once and sadly failed at the attempt.
Yeah, that's a hard room, and it, you know, we'll see if that, you know, how long that matters for. But Pool Float is going through the rest of these skull checks. That shovel is interesting. I definitely, you know, understand your thought that maybe this gets us to check that.
Yeah, my main thought process is
also, do we see like a play onto Graveyard Ledge and Bumper Ledge for Pool Float at this point?
Do we have to keep them? Pool Float side, I don't think we do, but it's good to scout it out regardless.
Yeah, it's always the scout at this point.
Yep. Intel is what will win and lose you some races.
And here comes Kaesden heading for Zora area.
Yep.
So,
and this was our call from earlier whenever we said that he was going to go into Ice Palace. Until, again, right before I said, oh, he might go into Mire area.
I think the big, you know, the big question mark here, and, you know, if that's Fire Rod on the left side of Desert.
Yeah, in Big Chest in Desert, which we did abandon. That's not going to feel good on Kaesden's side.
No, and we know that there's fire outside of Desert. A fire source does exist somewhere in the world.
Yes, because the only way that we get into Desert Palace right now is currently with the flute.
Yep.
So there is still technically Desert, unless we find the book. Technically, Desert does not have our fire source.
Now, Pool Float checking out Bumper Ledge. It was nothing, but heading south now. So we are not going to get Graveyard Ledge.
And Kaesden getting the temper, so now the sword advantage is gone on Pool Float's side. I love the Grand Poo World 2 MSU. Me and you are in the same boat on that one. We can't wait for 3.
Fire Rod cannot be in GT. We need a Fire Rod for Skull.
Yep. Yeah, Gray. Stop trying to jinx him. Oh, Mountain on Kaesden's side. I don't know.
I think at this point, you know, it's just I don't want to do Swamp Palace.
Yeah. I mean, there's still the possibility of Lamp being in Swamp and Fire Rod being in Hookshot Cave.
Sure. And that's the thing. We have Dark Death Mountain checks available to us.
It also could be the other way around, too, where Fire Rod could be in Swamp and Lamp could be in Hookshot Cave.
Yep. Well, either way, I mean, you play the check density at this point, and I think this is, you know, I don't think we see Kaesden. I think we see him go Okay, I was gonna say you're gonna go right, correct? No.
Kaezen's been juking both of us, man. This happens.
I figured you would avoid Pendant Hair in this point, but Pool Float did get those Titans mitts, so we are, and Pool Float's about to get Hookshot as well.
Or
Oh,
not. Oh,
this is the
there we
play
go.
that I was gonna say. This might have been the play you had suggested of getting Purple Chest and return and doing Stumpy then.
Mainly just because, I mean, we know we have Hookshot here, but what's on the shovel spot is actually what is intriguing me right now. And we're about to find out. Just a piece of heart. So now, Pool Float, where are we going? We took our portal back. What are we finding now? And we're getting the Dark World entry here, or Dark Death Mountain entry here for Kaesden.
Well, I think this is Smith Chain for Pool Float, so
More than likely. I thought about it too, Jesse. If Ether is TR entry, our fire source could technically be not in TR. Well, no, Fire Rod could actually still technically be in there too.
And Kaesden would gamble it.
Yeah, he would.
This is definitely a discussion we've had, and especially with him just a Fire Rod from Go, he'd be like, nope, let's do it.
Yep, and go as far down that rabbit hole as he could. Speaking of, actually, I believe there was a race that happened recently where Bombos Medallion was on Laser Bridge.
It might have been that far. I forgot how far it was, but yeah. We were getting hammer pegs from Pool Float, another check we hadn't seen from Kaesden, just a blue root.
And if Smith Chain turns out to be our fire source, this is going to be pretty big for Pool Float here.
Yeah, this is the avenue back in.
Yep.
I don't think there's, Pool Float has outs right now.
Pool Float lost their portal,
yeah.
though. That's why Ymir on the top of the steps. Don't ever risk it. The fences can take it. Steal it. Getting the magic bat here. What are we going to get? It takes forever. A mail upgrade.
Yeah, and in this case, we knew this wasn't going to be our lamp.
Right.
Just because we got that out of the dark.
Oh, Boots and Super Bunny on Kaezen's side. So we got the Tims. Let's go. Yum. And that's going to definitely turn into a hookshot cave check here. I don't even think Kaesden right now scouts TR. I think... Oh,
there's the Fire Rod. Oh my gosh, that is...
I knew it.
Massive.
Oh no, in the book for Kaesden. Oh no. Oh,
so
man.
is that's go mode for Pool Float.
Yes, it is.
And really, the big difference here at this point is just how long does it take Kaesden to make that play?
And that scares me because TR is Bombos. Oh, are we going into fire? Are we going into TR? Nothing floating. Okay, this is a book check. Kaesden should know, though, that this is all still out of logic for fire.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. That was the thing whenever I was bringing it back, too. Remember how I said that you would go up, if some of us would go back up for Smith Chain? I think that that's where, oh my gosh.
He's got to bail.
Oh my god.
You got to bail at this point.
Leave. Why are we still here?
This is the thing. Like, this is why we're talking about the logic. And I think...
Oh, he doesn't know. He doesn't remember.
Like, at this point, if you are... This is where logic comes in. Like, I know as rando runners, we're always like, oh, logic doesn't matter. You don't
This time it matters. Big time.
And this is the case where it really does. We knew that Flute was fire locked.
And you just found your other fire source behind a Flute locked book.
Yeah. And this is the one case where you have to be cognizant of your logic. Like, this is the one situation where you cannot get away from it. And Kaesden unfortunately has, and he might have just... Yeah, we're fluting, so...
Is this Smith play or is this Skull Woods? That's the real question here. I think this is a Smith play.
Even if he does a Skull Woods play, this works out for him because Shovel further incentivizes Smiths.
Yep. I think this is straight to Smith, though. Yep. Okay.
And unfortunately, as Rambler points out, this, you know, Kaesden getting that lamp is still beneficial in the fact that we don't know if Pool Float's gonna do Ether Tablet.
More than likely not, because by the time that Pool Float's done with Meyer, we don't really need the lamp either for anything else.
Yeah, and even, you know, a lot of runners have, like, that's one of those dark rooms we all practice. And
yep,
it is still a bear of a room. And just being able to see your way around it. So
Kaesden gonna do hammer pegs into the Smith turn-in, get his fire rod, realize that he is in go mode, and start gunning it for the dungeons.
Yeah, and we're at a 4-3 crystal, still in Kaesden having the advantage right now.
And the other
Pool Float is making a check. Oh, Pool Float doesn't know the medallion situation.
Mm-hmm. That's why whenever I have Mitz, Flute, and Mirror, I just go to Meyer. Find out what medallion I need immediately. And Quake, which further incentivizes him to just go straight there right now. Getting the save and quit on Pool Float's side instead of mirroring and fluting. And Kaesden going straight on into Meyer. Which I agree with this because after he's done with here, he can clean up his little mess up for back at Desert.
Still not a great arrow situation for Kaesden. He's got enough for this fight.
He can pick up that middle of Lobby Pot and be at 18. And I think that might be what he does. And if he doesn't, then hey Kaesden, whenever you watch this back, like I know you probably will, don't forget about that middle pot next time.
Oh, and the other thing, of course, for Pool Float is not knowing about whether or not we're boots locked.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty big deal too, huh?
Oh, look at all these arrows.
Wow. Wait! Kaesden!
Oh my gosh. Okay. Pool Float going to check the checkerboard cave. And, you know, should be into Desert soon. I imagine Desert becomes first for Pool Float just to check on the boots lock situation.
Yep, I agree with that as well. Got to find out if you are in go mode or not. Because with you checking your Meyer medallion here, you go, oh man, I might be in go mode. Wait, kit kicks. Uh-oh. So it is definitely a good idea to do Desert Palace here first. Kaesden just zooming through Meyer trying to find this big key with 13 arrows whenever he walked past 20 of them. I'm not going to let it go.
Kaesden, you have a lamp as well.
And
I think you had the magic for that.
He wants to keep spooky.
Yeah, you're right. Kaesden can be stubborn about making sure he's got spooky, so...
Oh, he will. Okay, the key is right side. There you go. Because, if you don't understand the key logic of how Meyer works, if you find a item in the chest there for North Torches, hey, there's our ice rod. Your big key for Meyer is more than likely right side. Whenever did he get it? Yo.
Meanwhile, Pool Float is heading into Misery Mire as well, so not going to do the play in the desert yet.
Nope.
And there's our big key.
And Kaesden gonna scoot his way to the back while Bootsless, unfortunately, is gonna be doing Meyer.
And Kaesden having to go backwards here, not having that key for that door at this point.
Which is fine.
Yeah. Just never feels fun to have to do the walk around.
No, I agree. Oh man, look at Pool Float's arrow count. Yo, 30 arrows. All nice and stacked up for Viddy. I don't even remember where silvers were. Just silvers are nice to have as early as they had them. Yeah. That is right. Kaesden getting the magic refill here. Gonna more than likely see a spooky setup on his end. We didn't even find out what was on the bridge chest here, which is a small key.
Wait, really?
Yeah, Kaesden skipped it.
You're kidding.
No. I'm not. It was still closed on his screen.
Okay.
Well, he got the 2 items. That's why it wasn't open. He got
but like the first thing you always check is the bridge.
Yeah. I understand, Jesse, but it wasn't open.
Okay.
All right, and a successful spooky glitch on Kaesden's side here. Gonna powder the anti-fairy, and we are gonna enter this fight. And let's see if he lands every single one of these arrows, because he needs to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 arrows. And just a map from the eyeball. And meanwhile here, Pool Float grabbing the magic, going on up to cutscene. Did Pool Float do the north chest? I actually missed it.
I don't think so yet.
Oh, Spiderweaver says that they did. So, this is just a lack of knowledge of how the key logic works in Mire.
Technically, I think that could still be the big key.
Yeah, I don't remember the actual statistic on it.
It's rarer. It's not like it's the
Right.
guarantee of the small key in North Torch's guarantees big key in cutscene. Technically, the only thing that's really required is that you find 3 small keys for that chest to be in logic.
Yeah, because that makes it fully pushed onto that side. Yes.
Right.
But like, whenever it's the item on the north chest, it makes it like a 60-40-ish type deal, more than likely.
Yeah, it's a less likely scenario. That's it.
That Firetail made the ice rod there look pretty sweet. But it's just a blue rod. Full Float still gonna be looking for the big key, while Kaesden, man, we've been here before, haven't we? I remember us being here earlier, Jesse. I don't. Why do I remember us being here? It's gonna be a spike room play for Pool Float, walking around, grabbing the Mire Big, and we going through the small key door here.
And Kaesden not going with the silver strats there, realizing, hey, my arrow count's not great. So, and all Kaesden has left at this point, I think, is Moth. I thought Kaesden didn't do the Moth.
I thought Kaesden didn't do Skullwoods yet, actually. I thought Skullwoods was done on Pool Float's side, not Kaesden.
Yeah.
I think Kaesden tends to save Skullwoods for last, mainly because very easy. Yeah, we're going to Skullwoods. Very easy for a good loadout to just get this boss done out the way, mirror, flute to 1, and handle your GT. It's usually a good last do dungeon. And Pool Float doing Mire 2 in the dark. This is that lamp advantage too that's coming into play on Kaesden here. For getting lamp on Ether Tablet, still fully out of logic, which pointed Kaesden the right way eventually. Took him a minute. Took him a whole Spiral Cave to think about it. But at the same time, though, too, Jesse, me, you, and all of us in the 40 Bonks Discord have talked about doing checks to think.
Yeah.
And I bet money that that's what that was.
I mean, it's easy for us to say it just because, we're like, we know where it is.
Right, exactly.
But, you know, when you're in the heat of the moment, especially after having that mishap in desert, you're kind of like, what did I forget?
Yep.
Like, and
Well,
you just don't even think about the fact that, hey, I did need fire to get that flute to give me access here for the lamp.
yep. Yum, yum, yum. The fire rod just makes tiny boot noises. Isn't gonna get the mummy strat here. Aww. Man, he had boots and everything. He could have done it.
And unfortunately, Pool
Oh,
Float
no.
having a rough time in Mire
I
Dark.
just saw it.
Yeah, that's a, you know, as hard as the Dark Pod stuff is, Mire is equally brutal.
This has to not feel good on Pool Float's side because now not only do you have to double back into Pod, now you have to double back into Mire as well, which is just buying Kazen more and more breathing room time here.
Yeah, and there's 7 crystals for Kaesden, so he is now, you know, time for GT. He's gonna go up there and just completely, you know, it's, you know, 1 to 22, where's the GT big key kind of situation, so.
And we are gonna get the GT start here on Kazen's side pretty soon. So, chat, go ahead and start typing in your guesses for all those imaginary points that you'll be getting. I'll keep track of them. Don't worry.
Yeah, and as, you know, pointed out in chat, like, it wasn't the God route. Like, if Kaesden went and did Smith Chain a little earlier, it would have been still really, really quite quick. And honestly, even if you don't God route this, you still get a lot of safe equipment.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, silvers were in the path. Powder was in your path. Tempered Sword, maybe you missed Tempered Sword.
Maybe.
If you skip Zora in that case, and I think there's a lot of evidence that Kazen might have missed Tempered Sword if he had kind of hit the God route. So
The only thing that the God route would have stopped is the lamp on Ether. You don't get that.
nope, definitely not. I mean, this is a seed. You could not touch the mountain.
Yep. Oh, you could have stayed completely away from the mountain this whole time.
Yep.
We've been talking about that logic for the whole race. So while Pool Float's cleaning up the back of desert here, heading towards Landmo, and while Kazen is opening up GT here, make sure to give the racers here a follow. They're all here on the line for us to watch and have as a spectacle sport. Make sure to follow the crew here, myself and Jesse included, and our tracker NY Rambler. Thank you for your time tonight, and as well as Spy Weaver as well. All right, let's get these chests on the way for GT. First one, small key. Second one, 20 rupees. Oh, baby, we don't have a cape.
Don't, John, don't.
But that's when I do it.
I know. So he's been taking that small key, and it's going to give us the compass room. This is definitely a strategy he prefers. You know, he and I have very similar thoughts about GT key routing. You get that one key in Hope Room, you go right side. So, not that there's a right or wrong way.
Jesse,
What?
where was Berna?
I don't remember. DDM?
Oh, was it DDM?
Yeah, I think it was DDM.
Ooh, a mail upgrade there for Kazen, actually. I honestly wonder where Cape was. Probably Swamp. Oh, it's, yeah. Rambo pointing out that it was not DDM because Float has it.
Then I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either. It doesn't matter. I was going to make a meme thing up anyway. I was just curious. Oh, it was Myers Shed. Yep. I remember it the moment that... It's weird. The moment that someone says it, you can imagine watching it back again. And it's like, yeah, it was the right chest of Myers Shed. Like, I remember exactly what chest now.
I was gonna say you're all more knowledgeable than I am because I am not the kind of person to remember that.
The left chest of Myers shed was ether tablet or ether medallion, not tablet. I don't know. The medallions don't look like medallions. They look like little tablets, like little mint tabs. You know what I mean? Little mint tablets.
Sure. Meanwhile, Kaesden really not. The keys haven't been plentiful in this GT check.
No, they have not.
So, I don't know. And pool float
Tile.
into Ice Palace.
Tile room, tile room, tile room, tile room. Because it was a small key in the right chest and a 20 rupee in the left chest.
Chat,
I said it every time.
Ignore John. He
Every
likes
time.
memes.
I said it every time.
So, pool float giving us an alternate strategy for the Pen Gators. Definitely the way I prefer it. I don't bomb. So
Yeah.
and I think
you
pool
don't
float
bomb
at this.
strat?
I don't bomb strat.
Okay.
Pool float going. I think might be still looking to find that lamp at this point.
Right. I don't blame him at all. Whenever you're
he gave
shaking on your dark rooms,
Yeah, he gave a good shot at the dark rooms tonight, and unfortunately, just not working out.
A lot of us know majority of rando players also dabble in your runs and stuff too. And whenever you're messing up strats or you're messing up things that you usually know how to do, whenever you're messing them up, you're just like, you know what, today's not the day. Let me see if I can find the lamp while doing this.
Yep.
There's the big key in Bob's chest. And we are starting our climb.
Number 18.
Yep, because we went right side first.
And did anybody even guess 18?
We
had a lot of 8s.
I'm control Fing right now, and I don't see anyone. The
had
closest is Gray with going over. Without going over is Spy.
And actually, they're equivalently away from it. Both 4 away
Exactly.
from the front number.
That's why if you play Price is Right rules...
When have we ever done that here?
I don't know. Never.
I mean, I guess if we show preferential treatment to our restreamer.
Oh, we could do that.
Yeah.
We should do that.
Sorry, Gray.
All right. We get Cannonball Z Kaesden? No. Oh, well. We got halfway there. So we got DBZ Kai. Fire Rod. Pew Pew. That was a very unfriendly RNG pattern there for G1. Ooh. Friendly Stalfos is there meeting up at the door.
Yeah, not too bad there. Good dash in G3. Meanwhile, pool float getting that third item out of Ice Palace, and I think just realizing it and going, okay, gold stair time. Yep.
Which is a good time save over what Kaesden did, which was still full clear the dungeon. So, good on pool float for keeping track of the items. Unfortunately, it's not going to save enough time to catch up from this. Landmo 2 not being nice to Kaesden right now. Oh, no. And this has to wear on your mind, too, because, I don't know about you, Jesse, but once it starts to hit the 120 mark onward during an open seed, I'm not feeling that great.
This one is a rough case, because, I think both of our runners know, okay, I made some decisions in this one. I think for pool float especially goes, oh, man, I could have been in go how long ago?
Right, exactly.
For I'm in go and I've had 2 deaths in dungeons. For Kaesden, it's I made these decisions and this routing choices that are not the right ones. If pool float is executing and making these same choices, I'm in danger there. So I think there's evidence that you could have that kind of thought process here.
Absolutely. That's what makes the GT climb sometimes kind of bear a little bit on the back of your mind the whole time, too.
Yeah, and a lot of runners will talk about the decision. Do you have race time open? Do you want to see what's going on and possibly know, hey, did my opponent finish? Did they not? Do I want to just block out any knowledge at all there?
I don't know what pool float does, but I do know that Kaesden makes it to where all he sees is the timer and the done button. Which I started doing actually recently, and it's pretty nice.
Yeah, I've considered it. I don't know. Part of me thrives on stress of that moment, so I don't know.
The pressure helps you focus more.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I
Pool
can
float
see
heading back to pod for that crystal now.
Yep. Unfortunately, this is still all bootsless on pool float side, so all of this walking, man, it just never feels great.
And realistically, there's so many cases you just don't find boots in this seed. Like, this is one of those kinds of seeds.
You don't find boots until you're on your way to GT.
Yep.
Because you could open Super Bunny for more safeties on your way to GT, if you will.
And Aga, too, just pulling the juke there. That all 3 shots just going a little to the right.
And not only that, Kaesden getting all blue ball sequences here, too, on that slash pattern there.
Yeah.
All right, that was a good twofer. Where are we at? 1-0-0-2-2. So one more here should do it.
I was gonna say it was like a 0-1-0-2.
Oh, the first one was a 0? I missed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. I was still right though. One more caught it. So that's good. And Tom the Game Nerd pointing out it was a 0-1-0-2-2-0-1. So almost the Matrix. He's beginning to believe. We're going to go into the Ganon fight here. Kaesden very well versed in the Ganon fight, so silvers just make it better.
Yeah, this is plenty of silvers as well. Did pick up those arrows along the GT basement path.
Ooh, the Fabled triple? Not going for it. 3, 4, 5. All right. Kaesden just going to keep on slashing, doing the safe strat here behind the right torch. We're going to keep on slashing and keep on slashing. We're going to get the hook shot here for the safety on the fire bats. Taking our time. Damage boost through to get the hit here. Nice. Very, 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 very standard cannon fight here on Kaesden's side.
Meanwhile, pull float into Helma.
Tinking away at that face mask, trying to get rid of it ASAP. Oh no, silvers, the one thing that will skewer me. Pool float getting rid of the face mask off of Helma. And it should be a kill here any minute, the moment that one of those silvers hits. Helma's just being mean, saying, yeah, you can't hit me, and there he goes down. Meanwhile, Kaesden's going to finish off the dig here, and we're going to get your GGs in the chat for Kaesden. As long as we do not fall off the bridge.
Who does that?
I can name one restreamer that almost did it last night.
I can name myself, so. But there we go. Kaesden finishing first overall in this race with an official time of 22:37.
Get your GGs out, guys. Pool float getting a save and quit here.
Are we going to head? Is pool float heading back into Mire at this point?
Mountain cave. What are we doing here?
Maybe looking for. Are we looking for lamp possibly?
I could see it, to be completely honest.
And it does look like pool float is looking for lamp. So. Oh, we missed this MSU tonight.
What MSU? What MSU was being used?
This is like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one.
Dude, is it Turtles in Time?
No, this sounds older.
Oh, it is older. It's the NES one.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I don't even remember the name of the... Wasn't it just Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Yeah. By the way, we are joined now by Kaesden. GG's.
GG.
So, Kaesden, my first question, whenever you went to knock on the door of Landmo to find out where your fire source was, what was their response? Like, I didn't know that you spoke Worm.
That's just a brain fart. I was like, oh yeah, I got fire for ice, but it doesn't work here, so.
that's what we pointed out whenever you went.
I was just like, yeah.
Yeah, you
I
went
was
to Ice
just
Palace.
happy that it's like, I went in there to see if it was boots locked, and it wasn't. So it's like, boots could be anywhere. And then I got more than halfway, like 3/4 of the way back there, and just like, oh yeah, I don't have anything to do this. So
Whenever you mirrored out and went into Ice Palace, I was like, Kaesden, remembering what the fire he has is actually used for.
Well, and then of
yeah,
course,
I had a couple moments.
Also skipping the big chest as a result, planning
Yeah,
to.
I was a little worried about that.
Okay.
At the same time, I wasn't too concerned because I knew the flute was my only access there, and flute was fire locked, so there was a good chance that there was at least one other source of fire out there, and that's kind of what was going through my head the entire seed. When I found that lamp, it's like either fire rod or lamp has to be somewhere in the world to give me access to the mountain,
Right.
or to give me access to the flute. And then when I found the lamp on the mountain, it took me a second. That's why I went and did Spiral Cave. I was just kind of thinking through it in my head, making sure I wasn't missing something or forgetting something. So I just did that, and like, yeah, that's fire rod can't be up here or anything behind here. So I was like, well, we'll just do smith chain into swamp and hope we find it.
There were multiple occasions too, man. We were calling out what your possible next move was, and you just said no. And we were calling out like, yeah, Kaesden goes to Ice Palace here more than likely first, right? And then I was like, well, unless he thinks he wants to just check out my area, and you just fluted right to 6 immediately. And both of us kind of had a giggle about that. But like a lot of your plays and decision making, it looked like you stayed in logic for a majority of it. What was your thought though whenever you went to the mountain?
My thought was I had cleared enough of the game that I was just thinking, it's like, well, I'm just gonna hope, I'm not gonna dive Pendant Swamp or do Smith Chain to get a lamp. So I'm going to just assume that lamp was my access to get the flute. We'll go to the mountain and hopefully find the fire rod up here somewhere. And then when I found the lamp up there, I was like, oh, okay, well,
yeah, the rest
that
is history.
doesn't feel great, but at the same time, it's it's good information.
Yeah.
The order I cleared the mountain, it didn't really save me any time, but it still worked.
Either way, it still pointed you in the right direction into earning the W for tonight.
Yeah, and we do have pool float into Meyer, having gotten the lamp off of Ether tablets, so
Gonna clean up the
crystal number
dungeons.
7. Yep.
Pool float had some struggles in the dark rooms, which is just unfortunate, but it happens to the best of us. The Demos shooter still being pretty mean there too.
I don't know if you were expecting me to go to pod early, but that's why I stayed away from it. I decided, we'll just go do Thieves Town first, because I don't have any tools for the dark basement. I'd like to find something before going down there. So I was
like
we'll
Bombos?
we'll check the pyramid and we'll bail and come back later. And then when I got Bombos, I was like, yeah, that works. That's something.
Right, because it made your turtle room a lot easier.
Oh yeah.
It was funny though, the moment that you went in the Dark World into Hype Cave, and finding what you found, I was like, well, I don't know. I would go into pod in the Eastern. And you started making your way. You did Pyramid Ledge, and then you mirrored and started to skate. Or no, you mirrored and then fluted to 3, and were immediately attacked in chat for it. So if you want to rewatch that one and see who
I'm sure I was. Like I said, it wasn't the best play. I wasn't feeling like doing Dark Pod at the moment, and I just figured I'll go clear the safer dungeon first. So.
And down goes the eyeball for Pool Float, getting the paper that he was holding, getting the crystal as well. We're gonna see a GT start from him as well. This is a good MSU.
It is.
Like, Grand Poo World 2 is good, but this is just nostalgia right here. I remember like half of these songs too. I just don't remember what stage they are, like what the stages' names are. I just
Oh, not at all.
remember, right? I just remember what they look like. I don't remember where they were in the game. I just remember what they look like, and that's it. Like, this is the starting street level. I know that. That also explains the crystal catch sprite for this sprite as well.
Yeah.
Because that was whenever you finished a mission. Or well, mission level. So, Kazen, any thoughts on the seed, like in general, though? Like, were you worried about anything, mid dungeon clear? Were there any thoughts? Like, what were like crucial moments to you?
I was a little worried actually when I found the fire rod. I was just like, with where mitts were, if you just get there a little bit earlier, like you could save so much time in the seed. You could completely ignore the mountain.
We actually talked about the possibility of the moment that you got mitts going back for Smith Chain.
I did think about it.
And with how many times we've had this conversation, I'm almost swaying towards the side of, yeah, you do it. Yep.
I mean, it's one of those things where if you get the thing you're looking for, great. But if you don't, it's also, it's just what, a minute and a half. Even with the mirror and flute, it's still probably a solid minute to do the whole chain. Like it's a time commitment still.
Oh, absolutely.
So, a lot of choice.
Yeah, a lot of this game, we've had this discussion multiple times. A lot of this game is mainly just preference of what you decide to do. All right, we're gonna get the right side here. Full float, gonna get the 20 rupees into the small key. Gonna mirror, and we're gonna do left side, full left, more than likely on float side. Kazen, pretty sure, just to let you know, whenever the small key was in the right chest and the red rupees were on the left chest, whenever you didn't have cape, I was like, nah, I can't be here. I want you to know that. In the bombs, I believe there was compass. I can't remember if it was a heart container or rupees. There it was. It was rupees and then more bombs. Ether to get out of here quickly, and they all dead and gone, and we're walking on out. Kudos to Pool Float for finishing this out. This is one of those seeds. Whenever your opponent finishes and you have a lot to do, if you still finish it out, you're a much stronger player than I am, because I couldn't do it. I just couldn't. So honestly, big kudos to Pool Float. This is the Ninja Hideout stage song. I'm still trying to remember them. Isn't this right before Shredder? I think it was right before Shredder.
I don't remember. It's been so long.
I know. Gosh, I don't remember. Looking at that collection rate, I thought you actually grabbed more, Kaesden. 139? Wow.
I mean, avoiding...
We didn't avoid the mountain on Kaesden's side.
No, but we avoided 3 pendant dungeons.
That's true.
2 of which are some of the densest in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, avoided TR, avoided swamp.
Didn't touch most of Skull.
If at all, really.
Oh, well, just the boss. That's all I did.
Yeah, that's all that Kaesden did was the boss. And then no Tower of Hera. So that's, what, 5 more checks?
6.
Oh, I always forget about Basement Cage. I don't know why, I just do. If the item is out in the open, I always forget about it. That's why I'm like, no, there's only 21 checks in GT. I don't know what anyone's talking about. But then the torch. All right, we got the big key on float. Let's get this gauntlet going, bud. Heating the pot, making the way to Mimics 1. And then one more time for the shoutouts to our runners. Our winner, Kaesden, coming on through with a 121 and IGT, 122.37 in the race time room. Give Kaesden a follow. Good runner, good dude. Give Pool Float a follow as well. Put himself here on the stage and just finishing out this seed like a strong fella. Getting it done. Check out the crew at their respective streams as well. Mr. Jesse here is an achievement hunter and collector. Watches adventures as he gets that gamer score up and up and up on the leaderboards. NY Rambler is a really good dude for doing the tracking, doing the button clicking on the background. Give him one too. And our restreamer, Spy Weaver, doing his work, doing his jiggies at the beginning of each stream. Check him out for his sweet move.
John.
What?
I don't know anymore. Oh, John. I guess you should follow John too. I mean, if you like hearing this kind of stuff, this is what you can expect on a John stream.
At almost at all times.
Yes. This is typical levels of John.
You're rating up a number for your actual stream. That's the only difference.
Sadly, pending the time, I don't think I can. I'll be at work.
I was gonna say 7:10's not a great time for me usually.
Yep. That's just
although it would
really
be a lot of fun.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. The 8-bit doe is the one that plays the music. Ha ha he he. But it's good stuff. I have to find that song. That has to be
Nice land mode
Shredder
too there from Pool Float. So continuing this climb.
Doing really good, honestly. That gauntlet was insanely clean.
Yep.
Dude. Man. If you make MSUs period in this community, just shout outs to you guys for just the amount of work that everyone does for these. Because goodness, the nostalgia.
Yeah, and as we've said, if you haven't been around to hear a lot of these, kind of the talk about MSUs, if you are a fan of an MSU and play Rando as part of the Link to the Past Randomizer League, do make sure to make those submissions to the moderators and the admins of the tournament. It's a pinned message in the open channels of the Discord, and Amerith, who really she took a lot of the effort to get that to happen. She will approve them and get them ready for this. So, if there is one that you really enjoy, just read the rules that she's put out for it and make those submissions if you want to see them.
The big thing to suggest before you actually make any of those submissions as well is that they just can't have vocals in them mainly.
Yeah,
a majority of them will get approval.
Yeah, no vocals and they don't get muted on Twitch are the two big requirements.
Yep.
But if it meets those two requirements, definitely give it a submission. Because I think, one of the things we love talking about, and, I think even you as chatters enjoy, is just that ability to hear something so different at times. And there are so many great MSUs out there. So big shout outs to the open admin or the admins of the league saying, can we do this for at least the open league?
Shout outs to just the admin team that run open in general, the way that they do. This has been a very clean tourney so far. All the things that they've been putting in for the work to get us to be able to keep on going and just make everything ease of access. Like restreaming has been easier, tracking's a little bit easier. Everything's just really nice.
And Pool Float getting through this Aga 2 fight, definitely a Almost
say
had
it.
it there. I was gonna say, yeah, a little cleaner than Kaesden on this one. Aga
But
2 was just
some of these patterns were just nasty.
yeah, and those blue balls
Ooh.
did not help.
That was a good
Yeah,
one.
Every time you think you're getting a decent pattern, he just throws a blue ball at your face.
Yeah.
Like, come on,
Yep. Every time.
every single time.
And Ganon turned into a little bat. Tweedledee, and we're gonna chase him down.
God, John.
This is pretty much what comps was tonight.
No, it wasn't.
There was good portions of it.
I know what to expect with a John Com seed.
All right,
Yeah,
let's get this
definitely.
Ganon fight on the roll for pool float. Getting the double slash. We're just gonna keep on swinging. Yo, Ganon's turning really dark blue whenever pool float hits him.
Yeah, I love how
Whoa.
sometimes the sprites really do mess with the colors.
Ooh, we get a really nice pattern here on pool floats 2 and 1. Because this is more than likely a 1. We got the free corner here. Just gonna spin away. Ah, you're all good. Yeah. A very nice and standard fight on pool float side as well. Smack him. Smack him. Smack him again. Yeah. Smack him. Yeah. Smack him again. Yeah. Smack him. Shoot him. Light it. Bop it. Smack it. Uh-oh. Okay, good. Good neutral there. Pew. You can smack him again.
No, pool float was right on time with that one.
Oh, yeah. Poo, poo. Nice.
And nice
And
double
get,
to finish off the fight.
get your GGs in the chat for pool float. Finishing it out. And pool float going to be crossing the bridge with a race time of 1:41:18. And we are now joined by him as well. GG pool float.
GG's.
So, some of the questions I asked Kaesden, what were your thoughts about like how the fire logic came into play on this seed?
Well, I mean, at first I was a little confused at the logic because when I decided to change up my routing, which I very rarely do in open, but because open is by far my worst format, I decided I needed to try something different. So when I went out of logic to the castle and got that flute, I figured because Fire Rod can put that in logic, I figured the lamp was probably somewhere on the mountain, just a feeling. And
Right.
of course, we know it was, but it was still quite a few steps away from eventually finding it.
Right. Like coming into play on it, because whenever you find Book and Hookshot Cave, that's another item that leads into that chain. And now you're finding Lamp, which you're still just like, man, that means that Fire Rod puts my flute into logic, which means that Fire Rod can't be here on the mountain. So that just changes it in general. But you found Fire Rod actually decently before Kaesden did. It's just that Kaesden was far ahead with dungeon count wise because of the struggles that you experienced in the dark rooms, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I mean, I only put it, briefly in the race room, but I mean, I'm just so disappointed and frustrated with the way I played tonight because, one of the things, like when our team with a different name was in the league last year, there wasn't very much of anything I could do in terms of like, the little tricks. A bomb jump here or there, and that's about it. And, in the year that's passed, I learned Diver Down, Icebreaker, Harapot. Actually, I don't know Harapot with boot setup. I just do it with bomb each time. But I learned all that, and I practiced so many times the dark rooms of Mire and Pod, and I mean, I can once I started practicing them, I could count on one hand prior to today the number of times that I messed them up, and it just the dark rooms weren't there for me tonight.
That's the attitude though that you got to have, Pool Flow, because like it'll push you to keep going and get more consistent with them. But at the same time, man, some nights they're just not your night, and just unfortunate that it was today on a race. But it's good that you have the attitude of I know how to do these, and I can keep working on them to make them even stronger. So that's just a good thing to keep going forward with.
Yeah, I mean that's I definitely I wish I would have, I mean, even if I still made the other mistakes and got to low health or whatever, I would have liked to at least pulled off one of them in the dark.
And then the other question that I asked Kaesden that was mainly in point two, whenever mid race, what did you think were like the crucial thing or the crucial moment that, like, besides the deaths in the dark rooms, like the crucial item that you found that made you go, oh man, I'm kind of sweating now. I gotta kick it in overdrive a little bit.
For me, that would have been when I went into pod, and got what was silvers for me, and possibly might have been the first bow for Kaesden, depending on how quick he was up the mountain for the other one. But that definitely worried me to have a non-fire locked bow that easily accessible.
Right, because then that makes the whole mountain didn't have to be touched at all play into question too. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and honestly, especially with a Pendant Hera, going to the mountain that early is another thing that I decided, because the flute gamble, or the Hyrule Castle gamble, paid off and led to a flute. I decided to take a shot at the mountain because I was hoping Lamp would be up there, and I was hoping there would be some other sort of major progression that, I mean, I know I was going against, a more than capable runner and team as a whole. So I pretty much, if I played safe, I was guaranteed to lose this race. So I had to take whatever risks were, reasonable without being completely insane.
There are definitely times where you have to change that play style every now and again. I will agree with you there. So Jesse, any questions on your end?
No, I think you've covered it tonight.
All right. Kaesden, closing thoughts on it?
Good. Just want to say GG's to Pool Float.
Thanks, and GG's to the very efficient win.
All right, guys, and with that, we are going to go ahead and end the race here. This was Kaesden versus Pool Float for JKLOL versus It's Always Sunny in Pendant Pod. This puts JKLOL, I believe, in division standing actually for first place, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jesse?
Yeah, no, we're in first, I think, points wise. Yeah, that does put us points wise first place again in
All right.
JKLOL. And also official playoff clinch, no tiebreakers or anything. So,
and on It's Always the Sunny and Pendant Pod side, keep playing, keep on making other teams lose, for that way we can get some seeding confusion going on over there. Because I like seeing all the teams get shimmy shammed up a little bit every now and again. But with that, y'all, we're out of here. Have a good night. GG's, everyone.